Immersion Gaming.
Howdy all, and welcome back to Immersion Gaming. Right, we've had a bit of a break again. Not a long break, only what? I think it's not even a week, I don't think. But there were a couple of reasons for the break. Firstly, because I was deciding what I'm going to do next, which I'm going to tell you in a second. But I've also was supposed to be going for my eye operation on Friday, and then I'm going to be staying in overnight. I'm going to have an operation done and stay in hospital overnight. So I didn't start this games in case I was going to have a patch on my eye and stuff, and I didn't know how long I was going to have that on or out like that, you know. So, but I've been a bit poorly with frigging man flu, so that stopped me being able to go for the operation. Which, to be honest, I wasn't gutted about, because I'm not over the moon about having my eyeball cut in half, to be quite honest, and having a new bionic lens put on my frigging eye. So yeah, that's what stopped me doing it before now, because I wasn't sure how long I was going to be out of action for, so I didn't want to start a game and then be halfway through the game or a few parts into the game and then have to stop for God knows how long until my eye weren't ready. Anyway, the second reason why there were a little break is because I was still deciding whether I were going to do this or not, because as much as I love these games that we're going to be playing next, I wasn't quite sure of how well they would fit into the story-based games category, because they are quite long. But in hindsight now, looking back, they're fitting perfectly, because they are literally some of the best stories in games. Do you know what I mean? All of them, they've all been great. So yeah, I just wasn't sure at the time, so I've done a bit of research, seeing how long they are, seeing how quick they can be done if you just stick to the storyline, which is what we're all about on this channel, just the stories, not open world games that can be on for like frigging 100 hours or something like that. You know, that's not what it's about. It's about story-based games that to give the more of a film-like experience for you guys as viewers. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, you'll totally get that with these, because they are absolutely fantastic stories. So anyway, as you know, the last game we played was Metro Awakening VR, which was the first VR game I have put on the channel yet. And I have to tell you, wow, what an absolute ball ache that was. Not only because it was my first time doing a VR game on the channel, so it's different how you capture it, because obviously you're capturing it in VR, so it's in my headset, so it's been streamed twice basically by my computer, one for each eye. That's how you get your 3D effects and everything with stereoscopic vision. So yeah, just figuring out how I'm going to capture it and stuff like that, because if I'd have just captured one eye, then you'd have only getting one side of the view and you would have been missing out some of this, and vice versa if I'd done the other side. So I had to learn how to capture VR anyway. I eventually learned it, obviously, and did it, but even still, there was extra work on these videos as well, because as you've seen if you've watched any of them, I've also captured myself with the VR headset on this time. Now, usually on my videos, I don't actually capture myself while I'm playing it, because I just think it don't actually add any value to the game or to the videos. If you see me sat in corner playing the game, you just see my head, you know, a big dopey head. Oh, I just don't see how it brings anything to the video. So I don't usually do that in my games. You still get my voiceover, you still get the choice of with commentary or without, but you just don't need to see my head while I'm playing the game. And that would then mean I need to have lights on to capture it, and it spoils it me playing the game then as well, because I play and sit dark and play my games, you know, for the best viewing experience, because a lot of the games I play are in the dark as well. So if you've got big lights on to capture it, just capture my face, I won't really get to see the screen and see what's going on. So yeah, so there's a few reasons why I don't have a camera filming me while I'm playing the games. A lot of gamers do, and if that's what they want to do for their channel and it's what their viewers like, then fair enough. And to my subscribers, if that's how you would prefer me to play them, and you would prefer me to film myself like I did the VR and put myself in corner while I'm playing it, then just say that in the comments and I will do that if that's what enough people want. But I personally just don't see the value of that. When you're getting the commentary anyway, so you're hearing me comment about the games I'm going through, but you just don't need to see my ugly mug in the corner while I'm playing, because it just detracts, it takes you away from the game, you know what I mean? You're supposed to be watching it like a film. Well, in the film you won't have me sat in corner, would you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean with VR it's a bit differently. Obviously I thought it added something to the videos for VR, because then you got to see how my movement were actually being matched in the game. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, that's open to discussion. If you guys, whenever I do any more VR games, if you don't want me to bother with me with the headset on, and you just want to see the view of the VR game, then again, put it in the comments and let me know. Because all these types of things, I don't know whether you want that or not until you say so. You know what I mean? If I don't know about it, then I can't do it, can I? But I thought it just added something with it being VR anyway. So anyway, what we're trying to say is, before I went on that rant, they added extra size to the files and stuff, because it had a second, and when I caught films myself as well, that was in HD too. So you've got an extra then HD camera video of me on top of the Ultra HD game capture and voiceover. So it just starts adding up. I've only got this static green screen that I've got here, so I couldn't stand here and play the game with the headset on, because I need to be near my PC, obviously, because it's connected by a fibre optic cable. So that meant I also had to remove the background of the video of me, because I didn't want it to be just a big square showing my living room, and then you'd only get in that much of a game. You know, I wanted the full game screen with just a removed background of me playing. So that added even more intricacy then, because I had to use the AI tool within my video editor to remove my background. And that's why, again, for any of you that have watched it, you'll notice that it's not perfect. It's a bit, there's certain parts of the game where you still see a little bit of an outline of background around me and stuff, like flickers in and out and stuff. It's just not perfect, because it's still a new thing in it, this whole AI removing backgrounds and all this extra stuff. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. So now I've bought a green screen that I can move, basically, that I can fold away, and it's on a big stand and that. So next time I do any VR, I can just pull the green screen up and stand against that when I'm playing, you know what I mean? So then I won't have to use that extra AI tool to remove backgrounds. I can just do it like I do with this, with green screen. It's a lot easier, don't take as much processing power to do it, basically. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is, with all these extra things that I had to do for the Metro Awakening videos, oh my god, I can't even begin to tell you how much of a ball ache it was just to get my video editing software to export them video files. Was an absolute nightmare. I went through a week of going back and forth with the company that I subscribe to, that, you know, I pay a monthly fee basically for my video editor, and I had to go back and forth with technical team there, because it just was not doing it. I was getting so mad with it all. I could just manage to export it in 1080p, which is what I upload to Facebook, because it's max you can do on Facebook is 1080p. But I couldn't do my 4K version for YouTube. And even before I realised it wasn't doing it, it still takes a full day to export them 4K VR videos. A full day, I ain't exaggerating, it literally took a full day just to export it. That's not with the editing it and everything as well beforehand. Just to export it took a full day. But what happened is, I was waiting like 8-9 hours, and then it had error out. So I'd already wasted 8 or 9 hours then, and then it just errored. It won't do it, basically. I was getting so mad with it. Anyway, I figured some bits out with speaking to them, and I also messed around myself with certain things just if I get it going, and I eventually managed to get it going. The only one I didn't manage it on was part 2, where I even had to upload it in 1080p on YouTube as well, because I just could not get it to export that in 4K. No matter what I did, part 2 it just would not export at all in 4K. So yeah, after that I managed to get it though in part 3, and the final part it did, so God knows what went on there. But yeah, it just adds so much more intricacy to the files, is what I'm saying, because of all the extra stuff I have to do. Now I think, now that I've got a mobile green screen, I think, to me it seemed that it was that AI removing background that were adding just too much, and it was just crapping out. I think that's what it was. So I think now with mobile green screen it might make it a lot easier to do, but we'll know when I next do a VR game. Anyway, that aside, I absolutely loved the game, the VR experience. It was a bit long for a VR game because bear in mind I'm stood up. So each part were like 5 hours near enough, which meant I was stood up for 5 hours, but just stood in the same spot. So like I said before, walking for 5 hours, fair enough, that don't bother me. But when you just stood in the same spot for 5 hours, it just cramps your legs up, it's horrible. So apart from the length of it, the whole experience was great. It really, I mean, it's so much more immersive when you're playing VR, obviously, because you're in the game, you know what I mean? Yeah, just an absolutely brilliant experience, and I would really, really advise anybody who's got a VR headset. I'm not sure, but I think you can play it on just the Oculus without linking it to PC. So yeah, I would definitely advise playing it. It is definitely a good experience, really, really good. Anyway, on the back of playing that game, as I told you when I did the trailer for it, Metro Awakening VR is actually a prequel to the original Metro game that came out in 2010, which is Metro 2033. So my thinking was, because we've just played Metro Awakening VR and it's a prequel, so basically it's the first one, even though it's the latest game, it's the first one in the series because it's a prequel to the first game. So I thought, well, why not at this point, seeing as I've done that, by all the other Metro games back to back. So we have the full story right the way through, from Metro Awakening VR all the way through to Metro Exodus, which was the 2019 one. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing the Metro game marathon. So yeah, as you can see, we've got Metro 2033, which we are going to be playing first, obviously, because it's the first one. That was the one that came out in 2010. We've also got Metro Last Light, which came out in 2013, which was the second instalment. Then, which is the ones that we're going to be playing, is Metro Redux, which were basically just a remake of 2033 and Last Light. And what they did is, because when 2033 and Last Light came out, they came out for PS3, and that, like I say, Last Light was 2013. Now in 2014, the PS4 came out and the Xbox One. So what they did is, they remade 2033 and Last Light, and they did a Redux, so it was just like rebuild it, but it was a full rebuild, sorry, of 2033. You know, because that was a 3-year-old game at that point. So they completely rebuilt that from ground up. Last Light, they didn't need to, because Last Light had only been out a year, so it was already pretty good anyway. So I think what they did is they used the same engine that they used for Last Light to build 2033. And they did a good job of it because it's so much better. I've seen the side-by-side comparisons. You can go on YouTube and look at the side-by-side comparisons of the 2033 and Last Light and the Redux versions. They're so much better. So we're going to be playing the Redux versions of 2033 and Last Light. And then last of all, we'll be playing Metro Exodus, which is the 2019 game, which was the last of the proper Metro games up until obviously this VR version came out. So yeah, I thought it'd just be a great idea to do it now because I enjoyed the VR experience so much, and because it was a prequel, I thought let's just get it done now, because I did at some point expect to be putting these games on the channel if they weren't too long, because I couldn't remember how long they actually were, you know, the playtime, because it's been what, 14-15 years since I last played 2033 and Last Light. So yeah, I wasn't sure of when I would put them on the channel, or even if I would, but I wanted to. So yeah, it just drove me with it being, with the Metro Awakening VR being a prequel, and I thought we'll just get it done all in one go. So anyway, I'll just tell you a bit about the games and then we'll watch the trailers. I don't want to yap on too much, I've already waffled on for how long now. I just want to get this done and then crack on with doing, because I've already started playing 2033, so I want to start editing them and getting them on the channel for you. So anyway, Metro 2033 came out in 2010 and it was developed by 4A Games. They're all developed by 4A Games all the way through. It's their game, you know what I mean? And the engine that it were built in, you know, like when I'm telling you about new games and stuff, I'm telling you about Unreal Engine 5 and all that sort of stuff. And that's what they used in Metro Awakening VR, was Unreal Engine 5. Well, in these Metro games, they used their own proprietary engine that they build themselves, like they used to do in games back then. And it was called the 4A engine, basically. Just like they're named after the company, obviously, because it was 4A Games that developed it. So they use the 4A engine, so it's their own engine. And I'll tell you something now, based on what I've seen of Metro 33 so far, it looks absolutely amazing, and it plays so smoothly, and the lighting and everything's perfect. No flickering, no artifacts, no nothing, which reminded me of how good games used to be, and the reason why games used to take years and years and years to develop, you know, and they weren't released until they were ready to be released. Whereas now it's more about money. Games just get half-assed built, get rushed out, take less than a year to make because most of the engines are already made now. They just have to build the game within the engine, so a lot of it's done for them now. So yeah, you just see, just based on a lot of the modern games I've played, and a lot of issues that have come to light with Unreal Engine 5 now, and a lot of the stuff that's in Unreal Engine 5 that's been oversold. But when you look at it properly, there's a lot of problems with it, like a lot of immersion breaking problems with it, which once it's mentioned to you, you start seeing in the games, you know what I mean? But yeah, so what we're saying is, what I noticed with 2033 when I've been playing it is just how smooth the game, how smooth the whole experience was compared to modern titles. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And to be honest, for a 15-year-old game, it looks absolutely awesome. So don't be worried about it being 15-year-old, thinking, oh, it's going to look crap, I won't really be able to get into it. It looks brilliant. It really does. I mean, I'm massive on the graphics and stuff, so if I can play it and enjoy it, then it looks good. So yeah, anyway, that came out in 2010. Like I said, we're developed by 4A Games, like they all are. But this one was the only one that was published by THQ. They published it in 2010 now. That was the only one out of all the games that were published by THQ. So yeah, that was Metro 2033. It was based on a novel that was written, a novel called Metro 2033, that was written by some Russian journalist, I think it was. So, well, all the games are all based on novels, because I think he wrote a few of them. He wrote Metro 2033, Metro 2034, Metro 2035, I think. So I think all these games are based on all the novels as he went through. And they're supposed to be really good books as well, so if you're into your books, give them a read. They're supposed to be really good, the Metro books. But anyway, yeah, so that was Metro 2033. Then, 3 years later in 2013, Metro Last Light came out, which I honestly cannot remember anything about, but it follows straight on from Metro 2033. You know, from the end of where Metro 2033 ends, this follows straight on Metro Last Light. And I believe Exodus does as well, from Last Light. So this one, like I say, came out in 2013. It was developed again by 4A Games, like they all are. But this time is where Deep Silver came into the scene. Deep Silver published this game and the rest of them, even the VR one. So yeah, like I say, the 2033 were the only one that THQ did. And also then, when Last Light came out in 2013, then that's when the Redux came out, like I said, in 2014, a year later, when the PlayStation 4 was released and the Xbox One. So obviously they had better graphics then, so what they've done is they've completely rebuilt 2033 from ground up in the same engine that they used for Last Light. So it had improved graphics, it had an improved frame rate, so now it has 60 frames per second instead of 30, because when it went from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, that was when it also went from 30 FPS, which it had always been before on the consoles, to then 60 FPS then. So there were a lot of improvements like that they made, so it is quite a big improvement from 2033 is the Redux version. But then when the Redux version of 2033 got released, it got released under Deep Silver, even though originally the 2033 one was published by THQ. I don't know how that all works, to be honest, because you'd have thought that THQ might have had some rights to it or something, but obviously they came to some agreement, and then when the Redux came out, it came out under Deep Silver. So like I said, I think the Last Light game, I don't think they needed to redux that as much. They might have done some touch-ups for it just based on it coming out for the later console, but I think it had already been built really up to scratch anyway, because it only came out a year before PlayStation 4 came out anyway, didn't it? So, but yeah, anyway, so that's the versions we're going to be playing. Like I said, I've already started Metro 2033, and it does look really good. I didn't see the point in playing the original one, because it's going to look really dated compared to this one, you know, so there was just no point. It is the same game, the same story, it just looks a lot better, it plays a lot better, it runs at a better refresh rate, and it's had extra textures. And like I said, go on YouTube and just compare and look, and you'll see that how different it looks. So anyway, yeah, that's the Redux version, which came out in 2014 and was again developed by 4A Games and published by Deep Silver. Right, so then we get to the last one, which is Metro Exodus. Now, I don't even know if I played this one, to be honest. This one only came out in 2019, so it's only, I say only, it's 5 years old at this point. Friggin' hell. It's crazy to think that 2019 was 5 years ago. Yeah, so I don't think I ever played that one, to be quite honest, because I've played so many other games that I've been catching up on, and I never got round to playing Exodus, I don't think. So that should be a first for me. But obviously that's the latest one, before the VR game, but which is set before all the others. And I'll tell you what I did notice when playing this 2033 Redux, that the character that we play in the Metro Awakening VR, Khan, your character who you play, who's supposed to be Genghis Khan reincarnated, is actually in Metro 2033. Now, I didn't obviously remember that because I don't remember all of 2033, because it's like I say 15 years ago. But yeah, just upon playing it again now, Khan, the character you play in Awakening, he comes in to 2033 and helps you. He's like your guide sort of thing. You don't actually play as him, but he comes in and helps your character. And you see things like him having Yana's bandana and stuff like that still on his head and things. Just I think I'm so glad I played Awakening first, because without playing that, you wouldn't have known anything about Khan's backstory, because it doesn't tell you really anything about his backstory in 2033. He just comes along and starts guiding you, but he doesn't tell you all about his past or all like that. So the whole thing with Yana and Petria and what he went through, you wouldn't have known unless we played VR first. So that's another reason why I'm glad I'm doing it like this in order, because now we know Khan's story, and it's just really good to see him again in the game straight after playing that. It's really, really good. And that's something else I want sure of when we played Awakening VR, because I did say I think when we were playing it, I wonder if there's anybody in this that's in any of the other VR games, in the Metro games, and obviously there is. And also, from what I've seen, Khan is also a big part of Last Light. I don't know about Exodus, because like I say, I haven't played any of it, so I don't know. But hopefully he is as well, because I really like Khan as a character, he's good. So yeah, Exodus was also developed by 4A Games, funny enough, and was also published by Deep Silver. So yeah, I think they all pretty much follow on the same story. So what's happened is there's been a nuclear war. Russia has been nuked. I don't know who by, I don't think it ever tells you, because it's not really about who done it, it's about the aftermath of it. And all the survivors that survived the atomic bomb, the nuclear bombs, went down into the metro, the tube stations, and that's where they've had to live now, because the surface is fried. It's all radioactive and stuff like that. So yeah, they've all had to go and live in these tunnels, but because of all the radiation, it's mutated animals and stuff like that, and made like new species of animals. So there's some that are like dragons that fly, and others that are like big moles, but with like snouts and stuff and big teeth and stuff, but they're huge. So if you've watched Awakening, you know what I mean, because you've seen them in that. Now in these games as well, like in the Awakening VR, we never really got to the surface. We got to certain parts in the game where you could see through holes and see the skyscrapers and stuff that had been blasted apart, but we never actually went out onto the surface in the VR version. But in Metro 2033 anyway, at least, you do go up onto the surface and you get to see Moscow in its current state, you know, blown up because of nuclear bombs and that. Now, with me being a big fan of post-apocalyptic stuff anyway, this sort of thing, this storyline really intrigues me. I really like the idea of it, because in reality that is what would happen. I mean, let's say that London got hit with a nuke, that really would be the only place to go, would be down into the tube stations, wouldn't it? Because they are like big, well, they were used in World War II as bomb shelters anyway, weren't they? So that's what they are, they're like big bomb shelters, fallout shelters. So yeah, that's pretty much what would happen in real life if they were to drop nukes on the major cities that got tube stations. So yeah, it just really intrigues me, and I think it's so well done. The games are so well written and so well paced, and the stories are just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, like I said, upon playing 2033 again, I am thoroughly enjoying it. That's why I'm so glad now that I have decided to put them on the channel, because I think you're really going to enjoy these games. And again, if you've watched Awakening, then even more so, I think you're going to enjoy it, because you will be able to follow on with the story and some of the characters in it and stuff as well. If you've not watched it yet, the Awakening VR, I would advise you to do so before watching these, because like I said, it does follow on. So if you want to just follow on through this whole Metro marathon, then I would advise you to watch the VR version first, just to get a bit backstory on Khan, because you get to see him through all the other games as well. Anyway, I think without further ado, what we'll do is first we will watch the trailer for Metro. Oh no, sorry, the first trailer I've got is for the Redux game, because the Redux game came out with both games together, you know, the 2033 and the Last Light. They both came out together in the Redux version. It wasn't like they were separately redone, they came out together. So this trailer that I've got for the Redux, which I'm going to show you, is for both of these games at once. So it's not two separate trailers basically, it's just one for both them. And then after that, we'll watch the trailer for Exodus, and then I'll wrap this up and I'll get on with editing and that the games to put them on for you. So without further ado, here is the trailer for Metro Redux, which is 2033 and Last Light.
Peggy 18. Metro 2033 and its sequel, Metro Last Light, have earned their reputation as two of the most immersive first-person shooters of modern times. Based on the novels by Dmitry Glukhovsky, they took players on an epic journey that followed Artyom's quest for redemption in a vividly realized post-apocalyptic Moscow. This bleak and uniquely Russian vision of the apocalypse is shot through with gritty post-Soviet realism and Eastern mysticism and mythology. Although they were also released on the last generation of console hardware, the only way to fully appreciate the achievements of developer 4A Games has been on a high-spec gaming PC, until now. Welcome to Metro Redux, an ambitious remaster of both Metro games for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Stay out of the light and stick to the shadows.
Metro Redux uses the latest iteration of the incredibly powerful 4A engine. The previous generation console versions had to compromise on graphical fidelity, but with the advent of the PS4 and Xbox One, the hardware in the living room is now capable of delivering that original high-end PC experience.
Quit looking at my ass. It's way out of your reach, rabbit.
On both PS4 and Xbox One, the frame rate is now a rock-solid 60 frames per second, while the native resolution has almost tripled over the previous generation of hardware. To put it another way, Redux pushes 3 times as much, twice as fast, with a superior visual quality. And of course, PC owners can enjoy 4K resolutions and even further enhanced visuals if their hardware allows. But Redux isn't just a graphical improvement. Metro 2033 Redux has been completely rebuilt with the latest 4A engine gameplay framework. You will now experience the improved AI, weapon handling and stealth from Metro Last Light in 2033. All the improved features have also been included, such as the mask wipe, weapon customization system, stealth kills, and non-lethal takedowns.
Calm down.
If you're revisiting Metro 2033, there are plenty of new hidden areas, secrets, and even new exciting gameplay encounters to discover. Where previously a level might have ended abruptly, once separate areas have now been seamlessly stitched together. The ruined surface of Moscow feels even richer than the last time round, thanks to the addition of global illumination. The outdoor areas in both games benefit from this new feature, but the change to Metro 2033 is even more dramatic, as the levels have been retextured and rebuilt with additional geometry to take advantage of the new time of day, weather effects, and superior skyboxes. This desolate world now perfectly captures the bleak atomic winter, with pale sunlight filtering through the clouds to touch on ice and snow. The characters really come to life, thanks to the use of improved character models and animation. Enemies benefit from better AI patterns and responsive hit reactions. Metro 2033 was renowned as a challenging game, and many fans will still long for that hardcore experience. That's why 4A Games added 2 unique playstyles to Metro Redux. Spartan is close to the epic Last Light experience, challenging yet rewarding. But survival is for the purists. Resource management is vital. Enemies are more aggressive, are quick to react and hunt you down. Weapons are slower to swap and reload. This is the survival horror experience you remember, and you can enjoy it in 2033 and Last Light. Ranger mode returns in both games as an additional optional layer. This mode makes combat even deadlier with hardcore rules and delivers the ultimate in immersion by stripping away the HUD and UI. You will have to keep checking your ammo and equipment to stay alive. Artyom's watch is indispensable here, functioning as a filter timer and stealth indicator.
Okay then, good luck.
Metro Redux also includes all the Last Light DLC, about 10 hours of gameplay, including 7 new single-player missions. The Tower Challenge, AI Arena, Shooting Gallery and extra weapons now playable in the campaign. The epic Metro Redux Double Pack brings 2 classic single-player campaigns together to create one of the most memorable stories in gaming. Offering tens of hours of gameplay, Artyom's story feels even more real with this incredible visual update. The world has never felt so immersive and authentic. It is time to journey back into the darkness and enter the Metro once again.
Right guys, there you go. That is the trailers for 2033 Last Light in the Redux version. Don't know what you think of it, but believe me, they are definitely worth watching. They are really, really good. So, what more is there to say? Let's crack on with the next trailer, which is for Exodus, which is the latest normal version of the game, not including the VR version. So yeah, without further ado, here's the trailer for Metro Exodus.
I created the Order to save people. All people, Artyom. It's your turn now. Lead them.
Artyom, you were right. People really do live out there. We thought we were the only survivors. Why are they hiding the fact that Moscow didn't survive alone?
It's the strongest who survives! Take this!
Don't let go, Artyom!
What is better, I wonder? Life built on a lie? Or death born out of truth?
So there you go, peeps. Those are the trailers for the next 3 games that we're going to be playing. Again, I didn't see the point of having separate trailers on for 2033 and Last Light, because not only that, if I'd have been putting separate trailers on, you would have been seeing the trailer for the original 2033, which wouldn't have been a representation of how it looks now, you know what I mean? So yeah, there was no point in the separate trailers. But I might as well just give you the Redux trailer, then you're seeing both in one go. And then we're not sitting and watching 3 trailers either. So yeah guys, there you go. Those are the games we're going to be playing next. Like I say, we're going to be doing them back to back. And I'll try and keep them as, you know, as often as I can upload them. I don't want to be like leaving big gaps in between them. But I think there's probably going to be a gap between 2033 and Last Light, just based on when I have my operation on my eye. Because like I say, I'm having quite a big operation on my right eye. I'm having the lens cut off and a bionic freaking one put on. So I don't know how long that's going to take to heal. But I'll get it done as quick as I can. And I'm not going to try it. I'm going to try not to have any big gaps in between uploading, but we're going to be playing them all back to back so we can follow the story right through from Awakening all the way through to Exodus. So yeah guys, thank you very much for joining me for the trailer videos, and hopefully it looks like something that you might come and join us for. There's something that piques your interest. Again, they're all books of these, the Metro books, if you want to have a look into them, if you're a big book reader. They're supposed to be fantastic books. So yeah, the games apparently do them justice. So from what I've seen of 2033 again so far, because obviously I can't remember all of it, I'm really enjoying it, and the story is fantastic. It really is. So right guys, thank you again for joining me. Hopefully you'll come and join us for the games, and if you would like to support Immersion Gaming and support me on this journey and help me to make this channel into something way bigger and better than what it is now, meaning when I can do this full time and really start upping the game, as I've told you before, because that once I can do it full time, I can really start swatting up then on ways to make my videos better and different ways of editing and stuff like that. Just a learning curve basically. When I can do this full time, I can really start swatting up and learning new ways. And not only that, I can really start putting more time into my videos and making them better anyway, because at the moment I'm limited by time. It's what I can do in the time that I've got basically. So yeah, being able to do this full time just opens up so many more doors, and it will allow me to do some of the other things that I want to do with the channel as well, not just playing games. I've told you before, I've got all sorts of other ideas, as in game shows, giveaways, competitions, going out places, eventually getting a profit. I've got all sorts of ideas, but it all stems from the channel growing, which will allow me to do it full time, which then means I can really start upping the game. So yeah guys, if you would like to become part of the Emerging Gaming community and you would like to support me on this journey and help me make this channel into something great, then as always, it's completely free to do. It's never going to cost you a penny, and it is as simple as just clicking a couple of buttons for me. If you could do that, I would really appreciate it, and you'd be helping us out massively. And as always, the way to do that is, firstly, if you could click the like button, the thumbs up button underneath the video on either YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching it. As always, that helps with the algorithm, so let's push our videos out to more people. Also, if you want to follow the Immersion Gaming Facebook page, that helps the channel grow on Facebook. So obviously, and it will also allow me to do like live streaming and stuff again on Facebook as well, because you need so many followers to be able to do that now. But the main way, as always, to help this channel grow, and the only way really that's going to allow me to do it full time and to become part of the community, is to click the subscribe button on the Immersion Gaming YouTube channel. Again, it's completely free, it's never going to be about money, and all it simply does when you click subscribe is it puts our channel into your favourites on YouTube. Also, if you want to be notified when I upload any new videos, click the bell icon next to subscribe, and that'll send you a little notification within YouTube to say I've uploaded a new video. You'll just get a little number up bell icon at the top. Now that's separate from the subscribing. You don't have to have the notifications if you don't want them. Subscribing is separate from that. But again, it really helps us out massively. If you can do that, I would really appreciate it. And that's the way the channel's going to grow. Other than that though guys, thank you very much for joining me for these trailers, and hopefully, like I say, it looks like something you'd be interested in, and you're going to come along and join us for this epic adventure. So until we start Metro 2033, I'll see you all very soon, and take care of yourself. Bye.